We often hear that what is being said is perhaps not as important as how it's being said.
Right.
The timbre of one's voice, the eye contact, the body language, et cetera. Whenever I hear that, I often think like it's kind of a skewed perspective. It's got to be the sum total of it all, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what you say is really important. If it doesn't make sense, if it's not logical, if it's confusing, that puts you in a bad light. But similarly, how you say it, if you're confident, if you're upright, if you use a strong voice, that matters too. So those of us who do what I do are really intent in helping people not only craft messages that are meaningful, but to deliver them in a way that can actually be connected, authentic, and engaging. Both are important.
So when I think about online communications and in-person communications where somebody is on a stage and they're selected to talk about something, and the expectation is that they're going to engage us, I like to think of this concept that a friend told me about that the first thing we want to know as an audience member is, has this person earned the right to have my time? So typically people will talk about their titles and their experience. And so how much of the fear of public speaking do you think comes from people's kind of need to kind of explain or justify that they've earned the right to actually take your time and talk to you? Because you hear a lot of filling of credentials and things like that. Let me just sort of counter that with the possibility that came to me, which is that people don't want to hear that at all. They just want to hear what somebody has to say.
Right, and I tend to agree with that. I coach my students, the folks I work with in the corporate world, that what's really important is connection. So if you can show that you have some value to bring by getting people engaged with your topic and showing that there is relevance and salience for them, that's all that really matters. Your credibility, while it informs what you say, doesn't need to be the first thing you say. I'm on a personal mission to stop presentations and meetings from starting with people just giving their credentials, telling the titles of what they're saying. Get us hooked. I tell people it's like an action movie. How does every action movie you've ever seen start? With action. Do something that engages the audience. I'm not saying crash a car and jump out of a plane, but make a provocative statement, ask a question, give some interesting statistics. Show what you're saying means for the people, and then you're able to engage them in a dialogue, and that's where connection happens. So credentialing is important, but it doesn't happen right away. You demonstrate your credibility. I teach my students that there are two types of credibility. There's your career and college credibility, something you'd see in your LinkedIn profile, your resume, and then what I call Costco credibility. You know, when you go to Costco, they give you free samples. You try it, you like it. Show people through the questions you ask, through the engagement you have, through the relevance you bring. That's how you build credibility.
I totally agree. And this raises the issue not only of credibility, but of authenticity. We hear so much about authenticity, and I've been thinking a lot about that recently. What is this authenticity thing? In terms of people being able to tap into it, or maybe that runs counter to authenticity. Like you're not supposed to tap into anything. You're supposed to just be you.
Yeah. So I think it comes down to really understanding what's important to you and what you stand for and coming from that place. So what does that mean? That means when you're talking about anything on a big stage or in a one-on-one interaction, understanding where the value is for you and then articulating that in as clear a way as possible. So just be true to your beliefs, but you have to first understand and take the time to think about what those are. Many of us are nervous or so worried about getting through all our material, we don't focus on coming from a firm, clear, connected place. So it really has to do with introspection first, and then you convert that into something that's meaningful for the audience. That's what I think authenticity is.
Yeah, I feel like part of this authenticity thing that we're exploring also has to do with the person delivering the information, that they're doing it in a way where they are not constantly monitoring what the audience thinks of them. This seems to be like central to effective communication, that monitoring for one's performance and other people's perception of them, trying to get a running score of how well they're doing really runs counter to effective communication.
Absolutely, 100%. It is the more we are in our heads judging and evaluating, the more difficult it is to be present and connected to somebody.